He don't need any money.
He spends so much money.
Yeah, but he don't need any. Floyd,
Are you sure?
Yeah, Floyd good.
I bet if he's playing for the future, you got to keep it coming in if you're going to keep spending the way he spends.
Yeah, but I think he has a lot of other business interests that he can get money from.
Hopefully.
And not just boxing.
If he really did all the things he's saying, I hope that gets proven in court, and I hope he gets punished if he really did that. If he didn't do that, I hope he gets exonerated.
Joe Rogan has just reacted to CNN reports of Mayweather's financial losses over the years. Yesterday, CNN reported that Floyd Mayweather has been undergoing a series of financial losses that have squandered the $1.2 billion fortune he earned from the sport of boxing. The news expectedly was greeted with shock and confusion.
All that money to the IRS, how much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to
It's
pay.
neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this, he makes so much money, there's probably a point when they're like, hey.
Floyd Mayweather has gone bankrupt, and this was confirmed after it was revealed that he had spent his over $1.2 billion purse from boxing on debts, bets, and investments that didn't turn out as expected. The boxing world and the whole of entertainment found this not only absurd, but crazy and unbelievable. And it of course made it to the Joe Rogan Experience, where Joe Rogan shared his opinion on the topic. Host Joe Rogan got into the topic and expressed his disappointment in Floyd Mayweather, blaming his reckless spending and lavish lifestyle as the causes of his bankruptcy.
And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but when I'll show you, when I'll show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million. And so you hate him.
However, Joe Rogan also pointed out the fact that Mayweather never appears broke, even now that he's been declared bankrupt. But this sort of news keeps flying, and I really don't know where they all come from. One thing I'm sure about is you're going to see this young man getting himself a couple of Ferraris in coming weeks, and you ask yourself if he was the same man you heard was bankrupt. There was no lie in whatever Joe Rogan said, and it's not even shocking that one comment pointed out how Floyd Mayweather has been declared bankrupt almost every year for the past 15 years. Yet he keeps adding to his private jets, his houses and cars. I think y'all should get off this man's life. You claim he's bankrupt every year, yet he comes up again with the latest cars, wristwatches, and clothes year after year, and then the news comes up again. I'm not in support of his lifestyle too, but I think we can really get off this guy's life.
When they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Congrats. You can sell those. I also remember all those guys got popped by the IRS. Because they
stand-ups?
Yeah, they all got popped because none of them were paying taxes. They were all getting paid in cash.
Yeah.
And so they all got in trouble. I remember working at Nick's Comedy Stop. They offered you could get paid in cash or in coke.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Like, that's how wild those days were.
Yeah.
However, while this has always been true, this time one factor to consider is that he has placed some of his mansions on sale. Joe Rogan spoke about this as well on the show, highlighting that this seems realer than ever and explained the kind of complicated financial situations Floyd Mayweather has found himself in lately. He highlighted the stores, companies, and countries, both within the United States and outside the states, that Mayweather owes some huge millions.
I also remember all those guys got popped by the IRS. Because they
stand-ups?
Yeah, they all got popped because none of them were paying taxes. They were all getting paid in cash.
Yeah.
And so they all got in trouble. I remember working at Nick's Comedy Stop. They offered you could get paid in cash or in coke.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Like, that's how wild those days were.
Yeah.
He mentioned a long list of jewelry stores, the United Arab Emirates, specifically mentioning Dubai, where he owes an insane amount of millions. Moving on, Joe Rogan mentioned that Floyd Mayweather had been owing taxes since as far back as 2017, when he won his last fight. Also, Joe Rogan revealed that Floyd Mayweather also owes a debt of $1 million in Mexico after he refused to show up at a conference some months ago. The money man had obligations to appear as scheduled, even if only via video link, to address the Mexican media as promised. However, the 5-weight world champion was nowhere to be found. The events really fell flat, with bemused organizers and journalists gathered in a room for no reason, with the presence of top professional boxers like Jaime Munguia. Ben Thompson stated that this was due to Ortiz having the same representative as John Gotti III and favoring that rematch over a second helping of the 2011 professional fight. ESPN's Salvador Rodriguez, who was present at the press conference, confirmed that several top boxing professionals were in attendance, but Floyd honored their invite, despite receiving $1 million beforehand. Again, Mayweather announced the event before no further information came from the ex-pound-for-pound king. It was confirmed that Mayweather did not go to Mexico, did not confirm the conference as promised, and subsequently deleted the Mexico poster and workout information from Instagram. The CDMX government, who were pushing to help the event occur in the late summer, were said to be disappointed with how things transpired.
There's no points, right? Because it's an exhibition. So that's what's interesting is Floyd's making more money than anybody, and he's boxing people who have no chance of beating him, and he's doing it as an exhibition. It doesn't even hurt his record.
Because of
It got so bad that fans and media had fired shots at the boxing legend as they wondered what was going on in the mind of Mayweather when he was reportedly being paid $1 million just to show up at the media event. And to find a way to reduce this debt, Floyd Mayweather has out his Beverly Hills mansion and his Los Angeles mansion up for sale. The two buildings cost a combined sum of over $40 million, which will go a long way in erasing his name out of several debt records. Interestingly, Joe Rogan at several times has spoken highly of Floyd Mayweather's discipline, only to be left disappointed with how things have turned out.
Look at this. Look at all those diamonds. That's millions of dollars worth of diamonds.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
crazy.
bonkers. Yeah, he's like a professional baller.
Like that watch right there is not like, I wouldn't wear it because it's not my thing.
Yeah.
Even if, I had it, I wouldn't wear it. It's just not attractive to me.
No, I'm not into blinged out watches either.
Nah.
I like mechanical watches.
Mayweather regularly partied into the night and often spent time showing off how much money he has, which unsurprisingly rubs some fans up the wrong way. However, this all played into his hands, as those boxing enthusiasts would ultimately buy the PPV in the hope he'd lose. But while externally the icon presented a wild lifestyle, he never forgot the importance of working hard, with Joe Rogan telling a powerful tale.
You're gonna live like this.
It's absolutely, he needs money. You think he's going Once broke? Again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
Because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no...
Figure did it's really a trick. He gets these people to box with him. They have no business boxing with him, and he's making millions and millions of dollars doing this way after his competitive career is over. Needs that money has to keep coming in. If you're going to live like this, it's absolutely he needs money. Once again, come on, fighters like that always go broke.
During JRE MMA Show 102 with Dustin Poirier, the UFC commentator said, Floyd Mayweather, he's the only guy who's been able to just be balling out of control, constantly flashing money, million-dollar watches, a fleet of super expensive cars, and still messes everybody up. He's the only guy. The thing about Floyd is that he never lost his discipline. Floyd's discipline was undeniable. Floyd would famously run home from the nightclub.
Like
Crazy.
like wow, and I think he held him up like, hey man, don't fall because you'll mess the money up.
If there the size difference.
So he would go out in Vegas, he'd be partying, and then he would have his driver drive. With his freaking jeans on, he would jog home. The dude was always training. He never got out of shape. Mayweather's career was defined by more than just victories. His defensive prowess was a key factor in maintaining his unblemished record. Unlike other fighters known for their knockout power, Mayweather's ability to avoid getting hit was unparalleled. This defensive mastery became the foundation of his success, and it's something that continues to spark discussions within the boxing community.
Because everything that he says is about money, there's nothing else, there's no values, there's no Joe Rogan didn't hold back. When he called out Floyd Mayweather questioning the legitimacy of his claims about owning $42 million in 60 buildings, Mayweather's flashy numbers have been repeatedly denied by credible sources who argue that the wealth Floyd brags about is largely exaggerated. Despite the public image of a financial empire, it turns out Mayweather's supposed fortune might be a house of cards built on lies and false promises, so Floyd is.
During a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, UFC commentator Joe Rogan, along with comedian Brian Callen, discussed Mayweather's unique style. If you want to say who's the best boxer of all time, I always say Floyd because he got hit less than anybody, Rogan detailed. Despite not having the knockout power of fighters like Roy Jones Jr., Mayweather's defense allowed him to avoid taking significant damage throughout his career. This, according to Rogan, is what makes Mayweather stand out as the best in the sport. Interestingly, Mayweather's career was largely free of knockdowns, with one exception during a 2001 bout against Carlos Hernandez. In that fight, Mayweather took a knee after a punch, though the referee did not count it. Nonetheless, Mayweather went on to secure a unanimous decision, maintaining his record of never being knocked down in his career.
Just piecing him up by literally the greatest boxer of all time. Floyd was just boxing him up, which is what he does. So that's what's interesting is Floyd's making more money than anybody, and he's boxing people who have no chance of beating him. It doesn't even hurt his record. Also money, he needs that money has to keep coming in if you're going to live like this. It's not that expensive though, but he's only 46. But he does this with everything, man. He's got $1 million watches. I don't think he buys every pair you think they give them to him.
However, Joe Rogan pointed out that Mayweather's ability to balance wealth with discipline is one of his most remarkable qualities. Rogan, speaking to UFC lightweight star Dustin Poirier, praised Mayweather's dedication, despite his lavish lifestyle. Floyd Mayweather furiously shut down speculation that he is struggling financially, while opening up about his plan to accrue lasting generational wealth by investing in smart real estate purchases. Mayweather, who is the son of boxing legend Floyd Mayweather Sr., retired from boxing with an undefeated record in 2017. In 21 years of throwing punches, he claimed 15 world championships across 5 weight classes, from super featherweight to light middleweight. After exiting the ring for the final time, the 48-year-old decided to take a swing at another potentially lucrative endeavor, real estate investment.
I got Dan, he's gonna go. So I need you to fly over there because you gotta pick a couple people up. You gotta pick some people up for me in Vegas. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course, Chef. Yeah, we're ready to go.
Okay, so let me know. Head over to Clay Lacey, then go over to Vegas. So let me know what time you're gonna land so I can send him over there, and then Dan can get on a plane also. Okay?
Since his retirement from professional sports, Mayweather has snapped up a variety of properties, from trophy mansions and modern estates to affordable housing and rentals. Now, he's lifted the lid on the logic behind his investments, which have reportedly helped him to amass a net worth of around $500 million, according to Essentially Sports. However, that staggering sum was recently brought into question when sports commentary YouTube channel Fighters Corner News shared a clip titled "Stephen A. Smith Exposes Floyd Mayweather for Going Bankrupt After $402 Million Scam." The video went viral and prompted many to wonder if Mayweather's seemingly successful image was all an illusion.
Exhibition is like, oh man, he's broke. No, it's not a crime for them to make money. They don't say nothing about the guys that's 80 and 90 that's still making hundreds of millions and billions, but soon as somebody black does it, your people, your own people say, oh, he's broke. Listen, I'm not here to talk about no one else's pockets. Because I got to where I got to focusing on Floyd Mayweather. That's how I got to becoming 50-0.
Now, Mayweather has attempted to shut down all speculation about his financial struggles, insisting that the exact opposite is true. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but if that's what you call having 2 private jets, owning 100 buildings, and being able to do what you want, then I'm pretty sure everybody is going bankrupt, he explained during an appearance at the Real Deal's New York City Forum. Mayweather is so determined to protect his reputation and his successes that he recently launched a $100 million defamation lawsuit against Business Insider over a story the outlet published about one of his real estate deals. After Mayweather took to Instagram to reveal that he had purchased 62 residential apartment buildings in Manhattan for the sky-high price of $402 million, the publication released a piece questioning whether the deal had ever happened.
Why do you think it's hate from both sides?
They gotta point the finger at somebody. I mean, I think that it's just that when I talk about the numbers that I'm doing, I'm really doing. It's not like, you know how the young kids say now, capping, or we used to say fronting, so ain't no future in your fronting, but...
I'm not a liar. I work hard to build my name and build my reputation, Mayweather said of the lawsuit. Out of my 48 years of life, I've never sued a media outlet, but the media has bashed me and my family throughout my life, and I have always been judged by them. I'm not going to let anyone go out there and smear my name and talk bad about me and my family. Business Insider issued a statement denying Mayweather's claims to Front Office Sports. We will vigorously defend against this meritless attempt to discredit our reporting and smear our reporter. Discussing his decision to get into the real estate world, the former boxer revealed that he has been successful because he surrounds himself with smart people.
I talked about that, building that wealth and doing different things that way, but you started off as Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yes.
And then you moved to Money Mayweather, and Money Mayweather became the villain. But part of being that villain was building a brand where people tuned in, whether it was the 2 sides that hated you or the side like me that was cheering for you to win, because I looked at the discipline of the way you approached the sport. Was that a calculated decision for you to become Money Mayweather and kind of be the villain?
As for his lucrative real estate dealings, Mayweather says he never planned to start small, instead opting to surround himself with smart people who can help him to invest his money in the right places. Mayweather, whose property portfolio includes retail buildings, luxury rentals, the former Versace mansion, and his recent $402 million investment, said, "I kept thinking about life after boxing and generational wealth. When I started with real estate, I skipped over 8 figures and I went to 9 figures. I wanted my payouts to be bigger so I could travel with my family and friends." However, the former boxer says he doesn't consider himself an expert, at least not yet.
Pushing each other to be great instead of arguing on social media. That's just my opinion. And push each other in a positive way. And, I found myself in the past, the younger Floyd Mayweather, going back and forth on the internet with different people. But
I'm still learning real estate. I learn every day. I always say real estate is like boxing because I'm always learning, he added. Mayweather confessed that his goal has been to build wealth that can be passed down to his children. Karaun 25, Iana 25, Zion 24, and Jira 20. The whole goal is for my children to be better than me, and that's a great thing in my eyes, he explained. I don't want to call this a real estate dynasty. It's just building generational wealth. A lot of athletes go out here, and it's a lot physically on the knees and face. So you want to have something. I never took anything for granted. Floyd Mayweather Jr. filed a $100 million defamation lawsuit on Wednesday in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York against Business Insider, its parent company Insider Inc., and reporter Daniel Geiger.
I'm in a better place in my life right now. I couldn't ask to be in a better place. So the old Floyd Mayweather, when I used to go back and forth with people on social media, I don't do that anymore because I'm truly, truly blessed, way beyond belief. What's important to me right now is my real estate, my family, different things I'm involved with. It's all about helping kids, the new generation.
The lawsuit alleges Geiger and Business Insider published a knowingly false and defamatory article that misrepresented Mayweather's real estate investments, attacked his reputation, and exhibited racial and political bias. According to the complaint, Geiger repeatedly ignored documentary proof of Mayweather's ownership and business success, refused multiple invitations to review verified transaction records, and relied instead on unnamed sources and innuendo. The article in question, Floyd Mayweather Jr. bragged about a $400 million property deal. There's just one problem. Was published despite Mayweather's team providing detailed documentation and offering direct access to the records.
Surpass Floyd Mayweather and be a better Floyd Mayweather. So, everything that I did, in a past, if it was something negative, I apologize. And, Terrence Crawford, continue to be great. Continue to do you. Continue to love your family.
The lawsuit further accuses Geiger of engaging in a pattern of harassment, including hundreds of phone calls to Mayweather's friends, family, and business associates, many of them late at night, and of making racially charged comments suggesting Mayweather was unqualified to own real estate. Floyd Mayweather earned his legacy through discipline and hard work, both in and out of the ring, said attorney Bobby Samini of Samini Block APC. This lawsuit isn't just about setting the record straight. It's about holding the press accountable when they cross the line from journalism into calculated character assassination. In a statement provided to Front Office Sports, Business Insider said, "We will vigorously defend against this meritless attempt to discredit our reporting and smear our reporter." Mayweather's attorneys did not reply to a request for comment.
I feel like as you get older,
yep,
you have to look at things in a different way. Mm-hmm. My son this year is 26 years old. So in 4 years, my son will be 30. Then my daughter will be 29 in the 4 years. So
Mayweather is seeking $100 million in damages, a formal retraction, and injunctive relief. The lawsuit alleges 3 causes of action: defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and prima facie tort. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.